I'm Alexander Douglas, and this is the third and final installment of the introduction to the project I am working on for this year's 2021 Manchester Jazz Festival. Today is June the 1st, 2021. Come back with me 100 years to June the 1st, 1921. This is the day that is going to be the official anniversary of the event we now know as the Tulsa Massacre. That is not the word that survivors used. They used the word riot, and the definite article means that no one is in any doubt when they refer to riot, because there's only one event that corresponds to the way the word is used by those people at any time. One of the issues that we touched upon before is the question of why, apart from myself, there are no other black musicians involved in this project. Now that raises the question, are we only supposed to be interested in events and in music and in ideas that correspond to our ethnicities? I'd like to think most of us know the answer to that question. And so, Hymnos, the members of whom I'm going to introduce very shortly, is a band that I'm really proud to lead, to be part of, with people who, in the first and last instance, believe in what I'm doing, and in the music we make, and in the fact that what we do actually matters. So, this is another important message. In the end, who you make music with, who you work with, isn't about specific pockets of identity. It's about people who are committed to the same values as you are. And right now, in British jazz, I think we have never needed to find more ways of coming together. Kelly McCusker is our violinist, and she is not an out-and-out jazz person, but she is brilliant, and she brings some much-needed non-jazz energy to this jazz band. The rest of us are out-and-out jazz musicians who also do other things. Interestingly, we have a cellist, Jonathan Draper, with whom I make Baroque music in another project. We have Gus Griffith on double bass, who anchors the band. He's also a Baroque musician. And Jim Faulkner, who is a lovely human being and a very gentle soul, as well as a wonderful player. So there is a sense in which the acoustic vibe of the instruments sets us up to be understood as a chamber ensemble in the classical tradition, but we are a jazz band who don't have a drummer. And this is part of the idea that jazz is not just for jazz audiences and doesn't have to draw upon influences that are prototypically jazz. We're interested in operating across boundaries, and we're also interested in being part of finding new audiences for this music. And that, of course, is part of finding new audiences and new ways to think together with people about the most important questions. And so, keeping on this classical meets jazz and other theme, one of the reasons why Haydn's 7 Last Words is an important inspiration for this project is because one of the critical elements of that piece of music is that it's not a piece of music that's inspired by the idea of the crucifixion. It actually puts the words of the one being crucified, the voice of the one being crucified, into the music. And while, obviously, I was not there 100 years ago, and in that sense, it is not possible for me to put the words of those who were tortured, killed, and whose property was destroyed into the music. What we have is an opportunity to make a relationship between the structure that Haydn uses to tell that story and the structure that we're going to use to tell the story of what happened in Tulsa back in 1921. There are a lot of things to say about what happened on the final day of the massacre. But it was brutal in ways that the word brutal cannot really do justice to. And so, here's hoping that as the music starts to take flesh and form, we'll be able to find a way to go on a journey of thought together, that we can be part of not forgetting what happened to those people 100 years ago. And that this becomes not a means to leverage guilt at anyone, but to think about the fact that we really need to work together for a better world. And as music makers and as listeners together, we are part of that imperative. We'll see you as this journey continues.